Beneath Michelangelo's majestic dome, in the spiritual heart of Christianity, a new revolution is underway. But this time, it is neither theological nor architectural. It is technological. The Vatican has opened the doors to the past using tools of the future, blending millennia of history with cutting-edge innovation. Thanks to an unprecedented collaboration with Microsoft and the French company Iconem, the world's smallest state has created a hyper-realistic digital model of its most revered architectural jewel, St. Peter's Basilica. Did you know that beneath St. Peter's Basilica lies an ancient underground city, and that today you can explore it without leaving your home thanks to artificial intelligence? If you're interested in history, mystery, and the technology that brings the past to life like never before, stick around until the end of this video. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell, because here we uncover stories you didn't know you needed to know. Let's get started. The Vatican, site of the Basilica, got its name thousands of years ago, long before becoming the seat of the Catholic Church. Its name comes from the hill on which it stands. The Romans called it Mons Vaticanus, the Vatican Hill, because it was where the Vates, prophets, and seers would pronounce their vaticina, or oracles. In the minds of ancient Romans, this was a place charged with mystery and prophetic energy. The hill was located outside the original walls of Rome, which had not only practical but also symbolic implications. It was a liminal space, a threshold between the urban world and the sacred or unknown. Originally, beneath this hill lay a swampy, inhospitable, and unhealthy terrain, like many other peripheral zones of ancient Rome. But with urban expansion and Roman engineering genius, these areas were drained to construct infrastructure, gardens, and circuses. In the 1st century, Emperor Caligula built a circus on this site, intended primarily for chariot races and other spectacles. This circus was later expanded and beautified by Emperor Nero. After the Great Fire of Rome in the year 64 AD, Nero blamed the Christians for the disaster, unleashing one of the first and most brutal persecutions against this new faith. The circus became the scene of public and violent martyrdoms. Among those condemned to death was Simon Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples, whose execution is believed to have taken place in this very spot. Peter's execution not only marked the beginning of his veneration as a martyr, but also the progressive sanctification of that site. Being outside the city walls, it was customary to bury the dead in that area. It was there, in a space that combined the ritual with the marginal, that the apostle's body was laid to rest. The area developed into a necropolis, a Roman cemetery made up of straight roads lined with funerary monuments, mausoleums, and niches, some humble, others ornate and sophisticated. The wealthier Romans built tombs with frescoes, reliefs, and statues, while the less fortunate rested in simple graves. Over time, the place acquired a new meaning for the budding Christian community, which saw Peter's tomb not only as a site of memory, but also as a point of connection with the divine. By the 2nd century, the circus fell into disuse and was dismantled. The necropolis, on the other hand, continued to expand. Peter's tomb became a place of secret pilgrimage, and the oral tradition about its location was passed down through generations. When Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity with the Edict of Milan in the year 313, he decided to consecrate that site by building a monumental basilica directly over the tomb. To do so, it was necessary to level the terrain and cover the ancient necropolis with tons of earth, thus preserving, though burying, that valuable archaeological layer. With each stone, with each column, with each marble block brought from imperial ruins, not just a monumental building was constructed, but a testament to the fusion of power, faith, and art. For a long time, Peter's tomb remained hidden, buried under layers of earth, history, and architecture. It was not until the mid-20th century that a group of Vatican archaeologists undertook excavations to verify whether the apostles' remains truly lay there. The excavations revealed an intact underground city, a well-preserved necropolis rich in frescoes, Christian and pagan symbols, Latin inscriptions, and architectural elements of great value. The most important discovery was a small shrine known as the Trophy of Gaius, mentioned in Christian texts from the 2nd century, which marked the exact spot where the faithful believed the remains of the Apostle Peter lay. Above this shrine, on a nearby wall, inscriptions left by ancient pilgrims were found. Among them stands out one written in Greek, not in Latin, despite being in Rome. Petros ini, Peter is here, a brief and powerful phrase that cuts across the centuries. Greek was the liturgical language of the early church and the New Testament, indicating that this community belonged to that original and trans-Mediterranean Christianity. In the niche were found bones of a man between 60 and 70 years old, wrapped in a purple cloth with golden threads, which indicated reverence and holiness. Scientific analyses determined that they belonged to the 1st century and had probably been first buried in the ground before being moved to the niche. The Vatican considers these remains to be authentically those of the Apostle Peter. Over time, physical access to these archaeological levels has been limited, both for conservation and infrastructure reasons. However, thanks to artificial intelligence and digital modeling techniques, it is now possible to explore these spaces with unprecedented precision. The French company Iconem scanned every corner of the basilica using drones, LiDAR sensors, ultra-high-resolution cameras, and photogrammetric methods, producing more than 400,000 images that, processed by AI algorithms, resulted in a detailed and navigable digital twin. Wait. Imagine virtually walking over the necropolis where St. Peter may have been buried, or seeing every mosaic in the Vatican with a level of detail beyond what the human eye can perceive. If this journey into the past with future technology is surprising you, support us with a like and let us know in the comments what part of this story impresses you the most. And now, let's keep going. This tool not only has educational or touristic value, but it has also become a vital platform for the conservation of the building. Engineers and restorers at the Vatican can now analyze cracks invisible to the naked eye, detect moisture, observe damaged mosaics or ornamental parts that have deteriorated over the centuries. All of this can be done without physically intervening in the monument. The immersive experience reaches its climax in the exhibition Petros Eni, located on the rooftop of the Basilica, behind the dome. This space, normally closed to the public, has been remodeled as a high-level interpretation center. From there, one can observe the sloping roofs designed to drain rainwater, the original wooden structure of the coverings, and the Vatican gardens. Inside the exhibition space, visitors encounter interactive screens, digital maps, 3D models, and large-format projections that narrate the architectural and spiritual history of the Basilica. It's not just about seeing, but about understanding. From the design of the apses to the function of each nave, every element comes to life in the exhibition. One of the most impactful moments of the experience occurs when observing the Confessio, a chamber decorated with a mosaic of Jesus and an inscription that reads, Ego sum via, veritas et vita, qui credit in me vive. That is, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Whoever believes in me will live. In front of this space is a bronze urn that holds the wool palliums given to archbishops each year, a symbol of the shepherd who carries his sheep on his shoulders. This seemingly simple gesture connects with centuries of ecclesiastical tradition. The altar that crowns this area was carved from a block of marble brought from the ancient Forum of Nerva. Above it rises Bernini's bronze baldachin, a Baroque masterpiece that symbolizes heavenly glory descending upon Peter's tomb. Access to the exhibition and the private visit to the most restricted areas of the Vatican allowed those invited, journalists, academics, technologists, to closely observe not only the aesthetic aspects of the building, but also its mechanics, its history, and its profound symbolic dimension. At the official presentation of the project, representatives from Microsoft, members of the Fabbrica di San Pietro, and cardinals of the Holy See explained the scope of this digital revolution. For many, this is the new frontier of heritage. It is not enough to conserve, one must narrate, share, democratize. The Vatican, a symbol of tradition and permanence, has embraced digital transformation without losing its essence. And in doing so, it has allowed the story of Peter, that figure of flesh, faith, and martyrdom, to be rediscovered by millions of people anywhere in the world. From a humble tomb in a Roman cemetery to a basilica that defies time and physics, Peter's journey is also the journey of Christianity and of humanity itself. And today, in the age of artificial intelligence, that journey can be traveled like never before, with a click. From a forgotten tomb to a digital model that can be touched with the eyes, the story of St. Peter speaks to us of faith, power, and now, of innovation as well. If this video made you see the Vatican in a new light, leave a like, share it with someone as curious as you, and subscribe to keep exploring the secrets that history and technology still have to reveal. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next video.